Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I am still getting used to saying that, but it's a good feeling. I really appreciate all the support that I've been getting thus far with this channel, the comments, the messages, the telephone calls. Thank you so much, guys. I have one major lesson that I've learned. If I were to only select one lesson that I've learned, having posted or uploaded my first YouTube video, is the critical importance of recording horizontally. So now that that's fixed, let's get into today's video. Today, I want to look at Smile Orange. 1976, Smile Orange was released as a movie based on a play done by Trevor Rohn. For some of us, we would have remembered this as the second story in a two-story book, which is on the screen now, that had two stories in it. One was Old Story Time and the other was Smile Orange. So to summarize, the protagonist, who is Ringo Smith, he shows us how he gets into and out of trouble. And all of this takes place at his workplace, which is a hotel in Montego Bay. Now, this is not an English literature review. I wish someone would have done a review for me when I was doing English literature, but and there are several things, as I mentioned, that stood out to me. So I'm going to share some of those in our discussion today. The first observation I had was the difference in how our license plates are now compared to back then. So the license plate in Smile Orange was FM 4674, which meant that the letters came before the numbers. But now our license plates are the reverse. So the numbers are before the letters. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah, we still have 4 digits and 2 letters, but the order was reversed. It would be interesting to find out why that was or why that happened. So yeah. Along the same line of arguments regarding transportation, I felt pride in seeing Air Jamaica once again. That lovebird in the sky. I don't think anybody can honestly say that there is another airline that topped the customer service of Air Jamaica. Flights were on time. You got a meal on a china plate, or as we Jamaicans would say, pan good crockery, with proper utensils. And comparing it now to travel nowadays, we get pretzels and nuts. Yeah. Air Jamaica, top notch, still to this date, 2021, no longer operational, but persons still speak about Air Jamaica with pride. It's used as a reference point. And I think I speak on behalf of several of us Jamaicans when we say that we are proud and happy that Gordon Butch Stewart, though now deceased, that he had the vision to make Air Jamaica be the talk of the airline industry. Or a complaint about transportation is where we get our first glimpse of what we now refer to as a modern day Karen. Let me stop laughing. So a Karen, in case you're unaware, is a female who is very boisterous, rude, wants to have their own way, and usually disrespectful of the persons around them. If you are to Google Karen compilation or put Karen compilation in YouTube, you'll see several videos of the type of behavior that I'm referring to. So Karens existed, and in Smile Orange, Karen was complaining off the bat about having the worst transportation experience on the bus. And And I thought to myself, yeah, life will always have these types of people, and it's up to us who may be on the receiving end of that kind of behavior to always be aware of what our own rights are and always be ready to respond respectfully or walk away or perform whatever combination of actions are necessary to ensure that we're safe and not disrespected. Flowing on from the transportation issue with the Karen scenario that I described is the issue of customer service. Now, it was interesting to me that there are two very important aspects of customer service that came out in this movie. For one, the manager, or was he assistant manager? The assistant manager of Moco Beach Hotel greeted the guests as they came off the bus. I'm trying to remember when last I saw a manager for any institution come and speak to the customer. So that is an aspect of relatability that has kind of petered off and, faded out. So I noted that. And then the second aspect of customer service that was really admirable in this film was how Ringo, the protagonist, let me use my drama verbiage, and this is not a literature review, guys, but the main character, who is Ringo Smith, he took Busboy under his arm, pun intended, and groomed him to become a better waiter. Now, that aspect of Jamaican personality is what I really enjoyed seeing, and I am, as far as I can, working towards ensuring that that doesn't die. Having experience in whatever your field of work is, it should be your privilege to pass that on to those who are coming up, you know. I am not sure when it is that Jamaica or Jamaicans embrace this idea of me not tell her nothing, me not tell him nothing, then we figure it out. I can't understand when that happened. There was once a time when we took pride in ensuring that people did their jobs properly. And so that aspect of customer service, busboy being trained on issues of personal hygiene, dressing properly, straightening his bow tie, patting down his afro. It was heartwarming to see, and definitely a lesson that we can take in 2021 and beyond. So, along with the customer service aspect of this movie comes the mentorship. So, I'd mentioned before that the protagonist, I love saying that word, the protagonist, the main character, took Busboy under his wings. But then another issue came out, which we still grapple with in Jamaica and in other developing countries today, that of lower standards of living in rural areas. Now, if my memory serves me right, Busboy had 11 siblings. It may have been 6 brothers and 5 sisters, or 5 sisters and 6 brothers, but it was plenty, holy for children. And he at one point said, I don't know my father, sir. Because of course, him having a lisp tongue was a whole other set of jokes in the film. But children that are only being raised by single parents, the incidence of it is higher than I think we'd want as a nation. And so thankfully, there are those who foster, take care of children, even if they're not their own biological children. There are those who may have chosen, or for medical reasons or other reasons, cannot have children, but they choose to adopt. So our parenting structure has fluctuated, and our parenting system in Jamaica has gone through its ups and downs. But I found it interesting that we still have that scenario today of parents having many children and depending on the eldest child to make things financially right. On a financial note, I was perturbed, may be too strong of a word, but I was shocked to see that for several decades, our exchange rate actually was stable, with $1 being equivalent to 91 Jamaican cents. Thanks to the Bank of Jamaica, I was able to go online and find the website that has a tab showing historical data. And guys, if you're interested in this, please feel free to visit the website and take a look yourself. There is now, having clicked on the tab for the historical data, there is an Excel spreadsheet that comes up with several other tabs. But of course, for the purposes of this video, I was interested in seeing what the exchange rate was in 1976. And at that time, as I mentioned, $1 was equivalent to 91 Jamaican cents. And then thinking along that line with regards to how money was valued in the film, then I was perturbed at how much within a 45-year span, right? From 1976 and it's now 2021, within 45 years, we're at the stage where a $10 or $10, which was borrowed in the movie, can't do anything at all. No. You may be able to get some form of sweet with that. Some sweetie, but nothing else. A $10 has no value in Jamaica, unfortunately. And I am not an economist, but I am concerned that the prediction that was made that our Jamaican dollar would probably reach a maximum of, I think it was 160 Jamaican to one, or maybe 170 Jamaican to one, but it was wholly, and we're inching there. Our current exchange rate is now round about 154 Jamaican dollars to one US. It's kind of frightening to see how quickly our dollar devalued. But let me not dwell on this topic too long. It's yeah. I haven't moved on yet, guys. Not quite from the money aspect. So Joe, another character in this film, who is friends with Ringo, he made a statement at one point to say something along the lines of, I don't mind going to the ground for a tourist as long as I find a dollar bill there. And then Ringo himself at one point said something along the lines of, boy, the things you have to do for a dollar. Sometimes when I think about it, I'm ashamed of myself. So money has always been a struggle for us. Having enough money has always been a struggle for us. And I think that has led to our creativity. And when I say creativity, you all know what I mean. You all know exactly what I'm talking about. So we make a way. And that is probably the biggest lesson that I've learned from this film, that as Jamaicans, we make a way. But I'll get back to that later. Now, along the lines of entertainment, it was interesting to see how much human talent was the mainstay of the entertainment industry at the time. So the tourists coming from the coastal bus, they were greeted by singers with their maracas and their guitars. They were singing at dinner and possibly at breakfast too. There was a singer relaying Jamaican folklore in song. So that aspect of entertainment, especially the part that maintains our storytelling, is something that I really, really don't want to die in Jamaica. I mean, we definitely appreciate and honor the works of Louise Bennett and are still remaining actors and actresses who remind us of the importance of our culture, you know. One of the concerns I have is with the younger generation now not even appreciating what a proverb means, you know, because we've lost touch with that part of our culture that makes us Jamaican. So seeing humans actually singing and entertaining was good nostalgia for me. Now, I could not do this review without mentioning something along the lines of environmental science. Yes? In several scenes of this movie, we saw a very wide beach and a very blue ocean. Now, the waters are still blue, but not as blue, and the beaches definitely are not as wide. So, from an environmental perspective, we see and we can relate to erosion activities that have taken place. I think most of us who have visited Hellshire in recent times, recent being anywhere between present day and up to 3 or 5 years ago, were shocked to see that the water is now in the shops. Yeah, we've had a couple of studies and short films that have documented erosion in the grill, and now we know for sure that the beaches in Montego Bay are not as wide as in the film. So we can't take away, or we can't forget, I should say, the fact that Jamaica is subject to issues of climate change. And without making this damn recording become an ecology lesson, there are lessons that we should take into consideration and facts that we need to appreciate when we're doing construction. I'll just leave it at that because that's also a whole other topic. Closer to the beginning of the film, guys, Ringo was boasting to his friend about a letter he got from a guest who was at the hotel last year. And that took me back. I don't know how many of you viewers can relate to being excited about getting a pen pal and hearing from your pen pal and sending something to your pen pal and collecting the stamps. But then here is what is the important feature of all of this. And if we're all honest, we'll admit it, that we're not writing as much anymore. We're physically not writing as much. The most we may write is filling out a bank form or some other legal documentation. We're not writing. I wrote something a few days ago, and after writing, I was like, "Woo." I was distraught. And it's bad enough already that I write small, but then it kind of looked like chicken scratch, and I was like, mm-mm. And then it got me thinking, what's gonna happen in 10 years' time when the toddlers now who are seemingly born with a tablet attached, are they gonna be appreciative of or even be taught to write? Is writing gonna be a thing 15 years down the line? And this is a serious question, guys. I know that there are some of you who will have or do have toddlers, and of course, you're gonna have the books with the letters, that are in dashes and you'll trace them out. But are we gonna reach a stage where people don't have to write? Think about it. It's a dying art form, as weird as that may sound. My final observation, and this is really just a summary of sorts, is that this film, Smile Orange, shows the determination of Jamaicans to survive. No, the methods of surviving may not always be morally correct. Because let's face it, there are several stories that Ringo coined to get himself out of trouble. And there was a story in particular that resulted in something horrific. I won't say what that is. I don't want to spoil it for any of you who have not yet watched the film. But our desire to succeed is positive for us as Jamaicans. We see that and we embrace it. I think especially during Olympics or any kind of sporting events, we get very competitive. We want to know that we are winning. We want to know that we're doing well. We want to know that we're doing better than you. And it's important for us to temper that desire for success with mentorship. So I had mentioned the mentorship earlier. Guys, let us not forget to twin that together. If I win and you win, we all win. If only I win and you're struggling, we don't all win. So we have to temper that with sharing. That's definitely something that as Jamaicans, we still have it, you know. We still have that caring for your neighbor scenario, but it's fading out. It's fading out. And God forbid we become a nation of people where we only realize that our neighbor is missing when the police comes and there's a body. God forbid. Let us not reach there, guys. But thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I almost trailed off into what could easily be another video, but let me know, have you watched Smile Orange? Did you read Smile Orange? Did you do Smile Orange or answer questions on Smile Orange for your CXC exams? Let me know in the comments, guys. And I'm thinking that there, in the future, will be reviews of other Jamaican movies. There's merit in that. And now that I'm older, I can definitely recognize and appreciate, I should say, the lessons that are in these films. Yes? So until then, take care, guys. Bye.